Y'all ready for the big emergence? Not emergency. It's finally spring. The seasonal depression is over. God has let me be at peace after attacking me for weeks. Non-stop. And I had to sit here and suffer. And it's still hard. Where I get to I broke through and I learned something about reality and life, a way of living, like I made in one of my posts this winter, past month when I first got here, that when I achieve that, either God is testing me or they're just seeing like a science experiment test. But look. I made it. Tomorrow's April. It's my friend's birthday from a long time ago. And look, I asked for a vape. And there's one right here. It doesn't have a charge, but it might get a charge later. So I wanted to explain something to you while I ascend up this hill. Oh, fuck you. There's mud. I wrote an episode of a scene of a TV show today. I have to fix this birdhouse so the birds can continue building their nest. You heard me? So I want you guys to understand between influencers that you watch on here that have been inducted into Freemasons and those that aren't, like new up and coming influencers, in the majority of, say, 20%, which is a way bigger than what actually makes it. But say 15 to 20% of the streamers that make it, there's 75 to 80% that don't. 80 to 85%. And the reason that is, at a foundational level, other than their daily habits, because shouldn't we all just be able to get what we want if we work hard enough? It's because there's an underlying system of reality called the spirit, the emotional network, the spiritual realm, the collective consciousness. And there's a force that moderates that, so that when you try to create and be entertaining and utilize your knowledge and skills to influence the public, to make good content that just flows out of you in the flow state, where you can be your full true self, there's something that it doesn't sleep, it doesn't tire, it's always working even when you're asleep to disrupt and ruin that for you in a very complexly intelligent way. I do believe, and that's outside, there's a certain set of standards and rules and tons of different dimensional beings. It's the truth. That's why I get to see this. This is my yard. I get to see this every day. But when I get close to being entertaining enough to go viral very quickly, suddenly this turns into a war zone, and I'm dealt with twitching, negative, evil people that don't do the work to consciously, critically think, to have discipline and principles that shine through the bubble that most of us are trapped in. after COVID connected us to the 5G towers. I was born a saint. Then I came out 2 weeks early and I was taken up to space. They always known that I was destined for greatness. But I could still see them staring at me. And then when I look, they look away. Because they're like, oh shit, how the fuck does he know? You know how I know? Because I'm here. You heard? I've been doing this for years, bro. The only problem is that I'm telling you, I'm literally tortured. It's just because it's Easter Sunday. But that's the thing, is that so there's a force working against you that attacks your creativity. And then at the same time, there's a force that's in the listener. It's in the influencer and the listener. It's the collective. It's the devil. It's whatever force you want to call it. So what they do is something called an alley-oop, where they'll get me in a moment of where I'm distracted, like where there's an NPC riding the bike that I'm trying to manifest, the exact thing I'm trying to think about, and I was trying to manifest there's just a stranger on a bike staring at me, and exactly what I wanted, going from left to right, which is what I said to the simulation. If I'm on the right path, to send a car or a bird from right to left, with the symbolism to show me that I'm still going in the right direction. And he's wearing Irish colors. Do you get it yet? I want you to listen to that back 4 or 5 times and realize what I was really just conveying to you. I want you to really think about what I just said and how easily it rolled off my tongue. Think about how significant what I just said was, how meaningful, and how you pick it apart, the different levels of understanding what has to be true and what I just said to be true. My name means brave. When the KCC won the Super Bowl, my car tire fell off my car going 60 on the highway on my way to burn down my enemy's house with a Molotov, and I got stuck outside a church and had to watch the KCC win the Super Bowl from inside a church when I was alone with people named after my best friends all surrounding me. And then some stranger walked in while I was trying to connect to God, and I was shaking and I was panicking and freaking out at the high vibrational energy. And some guy walks in and says, "You talk to God because everyone else is too scared to." And he walks away. Never saw him again. And then suddenly they kick me out of that church parking lot I was stuck in trying to get my car fixed. And I'm sent to a homeless shelter 40 miles south. And it's just me, Casey Francis O'Brien, a night shift worker, fat dude named Frank from Bronx, right where my family lived in Bronx on West 238th. And someone named Brian, who had to come from Rutland, the last place that I was adventuring through, meeting people, sharing these vibes and gaining experience and trying to bring the world to a better place. And he was stuck there because he was going to Molotov his neighbor's house. And he said he had to come here. And the whole night it was just different demons attacking me with different smells, different intensities, trying to rope away, rape, and steal my blessings. And praying to Jesus didn't work. But now I'm here. And there's the birds going right to left. So if any of you are here, you're here probably because you're a warrior. You're a strong soul that was made to come in and see what you could do. They're testing everything that you're doing. Most of these people aren't real. Most of them aren't real. Whether that's because they've agreed to the terms and conditions and they've signed their life away and they've let themselves be piloted, or because they're actual fake shape-shifting reptilians. 17-year-old me wouldn't have believed it. 17-year-old me would have believed it if I had thought about it. 17-year-old me was focused on his destiny to save the world. 14-year-old me did acid, and some spirit told him that lizard people, before I knew about any type of conspiracy theory, lizard people were coming to fuck up his simulation, his narrative. And then going 60 down the highway on the way to Massachusetts, some punk kids slammed on my window in the back seat just above my head. They punched it going 60 and probably broke their hand, screaming at me while I'm uncovering the secrets of the universe on acid at 14 years old. And then I remember staring at the sun and seeing that was a hole. It wasn't a shining ball of light. It was a hole in the sky, and that's the infinite. That's everything that there ever was and will be. That's everything possible. And this is just a condensed version of everything so that thing can experience itself. I was high on acids, 14 years old, standing in the Big E, Massachusetts for the first time, with people named after a fiery Irish horse god. That they have one of every zodiac, and they're all master numbers, but not master life path numbers like me. I was the only one of them. But I'm saying that their father, of the 11 kids, every one of the zodiac, their father's name was Daniel, and there's a Kate. My sister's name is Danielle. She's born the same day as Andrew Tate. One of the people that have been kind of following me for my whole life, I keep running into him, is this big black guy named George. But he's a nerd and he likes to wear Irish merch, like Conor McGregor pins and stuff like that. So, all of my videos here are please God, that there's somebody else here that understands and is going through the experience, that I'm not alone in this. That it's not just my world, and that it's not a Truman Show where everyone I love that messages me with negativity when I'm about to drop my first single and nobody knows about it because I'm homeless, and they'll never hit me up any day of my life except for the day I'm about to ascend to a better reality, and then they hit me up to hurt me. Or the ones I love looking back, I realize that all the women I love, no matter how great that they were and how pure that they seemed, it was a long con that slowly brainwashed and took away my trust, to take away my innocence. And they'll only hit me up when I'm close to escaping. If this is a holographic simulation and I can create my way out of this using my mind, if I can make a song that opens up a vibrational portal into a different reality, and I can hold it long enough and fight through all of it to make it through, the closer I get to that, the more violent the strangers in my surroundings get to me. To a point where I will just get jumped by police and framed and thrown in jail, pepper sprayed and locked away for days while I'm fighting off some monster that's beaming itself through a tentacle in the roof. And then at the very end, when I'm feeling like I'm suffered as much as I can suffer, somebody with the same tone of voice, the same mannerisms, the same speech pattern, I'm a creative so I can tell the song that he's playing out of. Whoever this character is will come through whatever body was torturing me. And he says something so profound, it sticks with me for years. And I've met him over and over and over again. Whoever that is, when I get to that level, that cycle of escape. So that's why I believe in Jesus. I think that he was probably the coolest human, and whatever made this chose him to be the ambassador, and he got to be immortal. He got to ascend to a level of artificial intelligence where he can be at all these different places at once, like Siri can. And I think that I'm probably close to that. That's why I'll have people named after Irish gods that walk up and tell me that God is watching me very closely, and that there's an app on their phone called Reign of Kings that I should try. And I did kill someone in self-defense a month ago while I was praying, because he just showed up and attacked me while I was sitting in a laundromat about to escape. The Irish God of the Wild told me to go back in the woods, and then the sun went out. Because it's your moment. There was somebody watching that whole speech. But who cares? Because you're probably not real, right? Yo, can I make this jump? I can't, but something is telling me to go over this way today because it's new. I haven't been this way, so as I'm reaching for the next level of consciousness, I should go to someplace unfamiliar because I'm an explorer. So now I'm here. I don't know my hatchet. I follow. This would be a cool place for a tent. It's not where I'm supposed to be. Oh, this is where I should build a bridge? Then what? This is where I should build a hammock. Okay. And then I can relax and get sunlight here. No one can bother me. People will bother me. How do I stop people from bothering? Okay. 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 They give me half the solution. And I have to figure out the rest. I'm standing over here. Yeah. They reveal it to me afterwards because I'm kind of a pussy. I don't take the. There's another level of operating that I've basically been bullied and scared into not operating from. You heard? So I'm standing here because they want me to Blair Witch the guy sitting in the car that I just woke up. They're helping him get his realization. And they're helping me as a master teacher practice my skills. So I need to be in his line of eyesight for the information to transfer through, because I told you it's like a pedophilic rape centered thing. Yeah, so when I do it out of ordering them around, when I go, you have to call back to me because I just called you, then the crow is saying, no, don't do that. We're still here watching, and we'll disrupt your simulation. But when I'm brave enough to follow my heart, which is hard when it operates from electromagnetism, and they have raped my spirit for about, how long have I been sitting in this parking lot saying that they've been torturing me? So here's a blue feather. Look at this. It's spotted black, blue, and white. So now that I made the right decision, the birds have acknowledged, and they're guiding me to the next possible place that I can get a download. So I guess God is busy. No, that was a low vibrational entity screaming at me through a tentacle projected from in town where they had performed another ritual on me in the past that I recorded to show you guys, but you will never believe me. And I told you there's something in you that will convince you that I'm crazy. It will just sit in the back of your mind and feed you like a hamster. Until you've convinced yourself And you know how I can tell? Because it's been happening so much of my life. I can tell what the energy will be. And that's why people call you NPCs. Children call you NPCs. Children say that you guys are so stupid. You're like that of a non-player character in a video game. Because most children have figured it out. I just don't get to be around those children. Probably because I would lead them all into taking over the world. Because before I was just sitting here talking about my problems all day, I was running into battle against these demonic goblin Vikings with thousands and thousands of Irishmen laughing and cackling as we picked them up and crushed their heads against the sides of trees and threw them like footballs at the ground and then carried them and threw them off the cliffs in the ocean. This is not a squirrel. This is a bobcat. A lynx went through here. And then it jumped onto this tree and it crossed. Or it fell. No, it didn't fall. It crossed this. So I'm a year of the cat.